They're closing for like a half an hour and then they're going to let us inside. They're setting up apparently.
We were cold for half an hour.
Scroobius Pip's going to play a couple of songs and a couple of poems as well. So we're very excited about that.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, come on in.
So how are you?
Hello? Hello. I guess I'm going to do some poems and stuff, which sounds awfully boring, but I'm sure it'll be nice. I'll stand up to give the illusion of passion when doing this. I'll do Magician's Assistant upon request there. It's tragic. You try to cut yourself in half, but this ain't magic. In fact, it's something far more dark and more dramatic. Self-harm, that's what they call it, because it just affects you. It's your life, your body, so you can choose what you do. And if one day you can't rein it in, and of your last breath you are the only witness, then so be it, because it's your last breath, and it's nobody else's business. But then, what about your little sister? I mean, you think your life's been bad. And by no means am I belittling that, because I know the troubles you've had. But a teen finding out her big sister chose death over life. Finding out that instead of turning to her view of problems, you turned to a knife. Now that's a whole lot of pain to deal with, and a whole lot of damage. And the only role model she has now is little more than words engraved in granite. But as you said before, this just affects you. It's your life, your body, so you can choose what you do. And if one day you can't rein it in, and of your last breath you are the only witness, then so be it, because it's your last breath, and it's nobody else's business. But then, what about your parents? God knows they've done all they can to support. Yeah, you didn't grow up in a mansion, but they gave you the best life they could afford. And the moment that last bit of life trickles out and your lungs cease to breathe, they have failed the most important task that they will ever receive. They have failed to give their child a life that's worth living. And that's a failure that, as long as they live, of themselves is unforgiving. But as you said before, this just affects you. It's your life, your body, so you can choose what you do. And if one day you can't rein it in, and of your last breath you are the only witness, then so be it, because it's your last breath, and it's nobody else's business. But then, what about your friends? How did they fail to see this coming? I mean, you can only take so much pain, and recently it feels like the tap's been left running. Families grow distant, but it's supposed to be your friends you can rely on. They shouldn't just be there for fun and drinks. They should be your shoulder to cry on. They should be the one you turn to when you can't turn to your family. But that failed too, because though we never asked for it, their support should have been mandatory. But as you said before, this just affects you. It's your life, your body, so you can choose what you do. And if one day you can't rein it in, and of your last breath you are the only witness, then so be it, because it's your last breath, and it's nobody else's business. But then, what about me? What kind of boyfriend am I? Instead of living a life I was a big part of, you would rather die. Instead of fighting through together and turning things around, you decided the grass was greener on the other side of the ground. Of our shared lives, there was nothing worth living for as far as you could see. So if that's the case for you, what is there left in this life for me? But as you said before, this just affects you. It's your life, your body, your sister, your parents, your friends and your partner, so you can choose what you do. And if one day you can't rein it in, and of your last breath you are the only witness, then fuck everybody else, because that ain't something that you've got to live with. The Magician's Assistant. Too many problems to list them. Not enough people to listen. The Magician's Assistant. Cheers. Thank you very much. Some of you will know who I am, and others will be like, who the fuck's this guy? But what you might not know is I'm fucking loaded. I've got a fuckload of money. Basically, it's because of, like, there was a little track, a little piece that I recorded years back that you may or may not have heard, but that's what made me my millions. I'll do a quick sample of that now, and then I'll do the last piece. Hang on. Cashier number 1, please. Cashier number 2. I did all of those. And Woolworths bought them. They went bankrupt. They lost loads of money. But then I sold them to the Royal Mail. That all links nicely to this next piece. I've stolen a letter that I'd like to read to you all. Oh man, it's in bad shape. But this is a letter from God to man, which reveals now that all that shit I just said was an appalling stumble to introduce a poem that's actually shorter than the introduction. Where's the logic? Thank God you didn't pay. Yes, this is a letter from God to man. It says, "Hey there, how's it going? Long time no see. I know I haven't been around much lately, but it didn't seem like you wanted me to be. The last time I sent down a message, you nailed it to the cross, so I figured I'd just leave you to it and let you be your own boss. But I've been keeping an eye on you, I have, and it's amazing how you've grown. Your technological advances and the problems you've overthrown. All the beautiful art you've created with such grace and such finesse, but I must admit there are a few things I'm afraid that have impressed me less. So I'm writing to apologise for the horrors committed in my name. Although it was never what I intended, I feel I should take my share of the blame. A lot of the good I tried to do was corrupted when organised religion got into full swing. What I thought were quite clear messages were taken to unusual extremes. My teachings were taken out of context to meet the agendas of others, interpretations taken in different ways and hidden meanings discovered. Religion became a tool for the weak control the strong. With all these new morals and ethics, survival of the fittest was gone. No longer could the biggest man simply take wherever he needed, because damnation was the price if certain rules were not heeded. Some of the deeds committed in my name make me wonder where I went wrong. Back at the start when I created this, the foundation seemed so strong. See, all the elements were already here. Long before I began, I just kind of put them all together. Didn't really think out a long-term plan. PTO. I made the sun an appropriate distance and laid the stars across the sky so you could navigate this globe or watch a sunrise. I covered the earth with plants and fruit, some for sustenance and some for beauty. I made the sunshine and clouds rain so their maintenance wasn't your duty. I tried to give each creature its own attributes without making them enveloped. Gave you all your own space to grow and in your own way space to develop. I didn't know that such developments would cause rifts and jealousy, cause you to war against each other and leave marks on this planet indelibly. You see, I wasn't the creator. I was more the curator of nature. I don't want to set things straight with homosexuals right now. I don't hate you. I was a simple being. I happened to be the first to yield such powers, but I just laid the ground. It was you that built the towers. It was you that invented bombs and the fear that comes with them. It was you that invented money and corrupt economic systems. You invented terms like just war and terms like friendly fire. And it was you that didn't know when to stop digging deeper and when to stop building higher. It was you that exhausted the resources I carefully laid out on this earth. And it was you that saw these problems come but accredited them little worth. It was you that used my teachings for your own personal gain. And it was you that committed such tragedies, even if they were in my name. So I apologise for my mistakes and when my words are misconstrued. But it's apologies to Mother Nature, because I created you. Cheers. Thank you very, very much. It looks as if my limo's turned up. So I'll be making my way now. But yeah, thank you very much for coming out and hope you enjoyed it. Cheers. Thank you.